Here we go, folks. Another episode of Find Your Awesome with Awesomepreneurs. I say this every time. We have a really special guest today because everybody we deal with is special to me and I love them. We have the amazing Connor Morand with us today. So I'm going to bring him on board and everybody say hi to him. There we go. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, man, I'm great. How are you doing, Kyle?
Awesome. Thanks so much, Connor, for spending the time with us today. I really, really appreciate it. I know you're busy. How are you handling this whole COVID mess? Are you and your family safe through all this?
Yes, we are thankfully safe throughout all this. I think that my answer is a lot like everybody else's answer, where that I've been telling people all the time, day by day, trying to be safe, wherever I can, staying inside, trying to stay away from people as much as possible, doing a lot more phone calls. I don't know if anybody else is in that, same boat, but I'm definitely making a lot more calls and just trying to get a lot more virtual FaceTime with people as well. So, I've been certainly making the most of it. It's certainly not easy, for myself or for anybody else, but music and, just those prior relationships have been the thing to keep me sane. So
I deal with I have a few friends that are musicians, and I know a lot of their stuff just disappeared because they can't do live events and all that. How have you transferred into doing? Are you doing online events? Are you reaching out to people that way, or how are you getting out there?
That's a great question. I've actually done very few online events, and I mean, there's kind of two schools of thought. There are guys that I know, in the music industry, very, very talented guys and girls that do a ton of online events, and big kudos to them. They do it extremely well. I have held off on doing online events. I'm actually doing a lot more music producing. So, I mean, I actually just picked up Logic, which is basically a music making software for the Mac. And I've been really, really focused on spending a lot of time trying to produce my own stuff. And not that I don't like working with other producers, but there's something nice about me being able to learn by myself and getting ideas off super, super quickly and, almost instantaneously. So that's where a lot of my focus has gone. I'll do, the occasional one-off online event through Facebook, through Instagram, but those are kind of few and far in between. I know that I want to focus my efforts solely on creating new music and not just playing, existing music that I've been doing for so long. So just a new thing for me.
That's awesome, Connor. And that kind of plays right into what I wanted to talk about today. I was thinking I needed a theme song and an anthem for Awesomepreneurs. Every big business out there has got an anthem or a theme song for commercials, podcasts, all that kind of stuff.
Sure.
And I got to be honest to you, you were the first guy that I thought of when an anthem and a theme song came to mind. And it blows my mind how absolutely quick and incredible you came up with it.
Oh, thank you, sir.
And we're going to play that in a little bit, but I wanted to talk more so too about your song 94 Corolla. And I have a story for everybody. It was funny. I was driving down the road in my car and all of a sudden I listen to CBC radio a lot. And your song came on and I almost hit the brakes and crashed. I was like, wow, I didn't know that it was that far and wide that you had reached. What was that like? And why don't you tell the people how that journey came about?
Sure. So 94 Corolla. So starting from the very beginning, when would this have been? So that song was released in July 2019. So it's crazy to think that it's almost been a year that song has been out. But go back about a year from that point, August of 2018 is what it would have been. I met a wonderful dude named Jonathan Corolla, who goes by Unbloom online. That's his musical moniker. And he is just such a wholesome and such a nice guy. And the first time we met, we just clicked instantaneously. We were both in the same kind of musical, headspace, you could call it. And from there, we just started pumping out a ton of different ideas. And 94 Corolla turned out to be one of them. 94 Corolla actually took a fairly long time to make. We really didn't rush that process at all. There were a lot of small little decisions that we were making, through the months that we were trying to produce the song. And then we brought it to a mixing engineer named Dan Weston, who did a wonderful job on it. And then the song was brought into the world, like I said, in July of 2019. So that was the first time that I released any kind of original music in 2 years. The last time I did was in 2017. I put out 2 singles, one called Everything is Gold and the other one called Believe. So it was nice to be able to share that experience with John. And then even in the months before that, John put out a single under the Unbloom name that I was featured on that was called Best Believe, which is, it was unrelated to my 2017 project. So it was nice to be able to do those, kind of couple songs with him and to, share that experience side by side. He's a wonderful guy.
I love hearing this stuff, Connor, because there's so the musical world's so competitive, and there's so many hundreds of thousands of people that love to sing, and they want to get that break. They want to get that song on the radio.
Definitely. And
when I heard it on the radio, I wasn't only extremely proud of you, but I was impressed. How did that come about where you get your music featured on a Canadian-wide radio station like that, now worldwide because of the internet? How did that happen?
Well, first of all, thanks so much. I'm glad that you like the song, and it was certainly a labor of love, and it's still just, it warms my heart to this day, even almost a year later, to hear that people are still actually listening to that. Though it's so vast and it's so wide, and there are so many people trying to do exactly what we do as musicians. In terms of getting it on big radio play, I'd say the first step, and this sounds, incredibly cliche, make sure that your song is as good as your song can get. It's really, really hard to market a crappy song, but it's a lot easier to market a really good song. So, I think that marketing is important, and I think that outreach is really important as well. But I think that, at the end of the day, the actual song trumps all. And if your song is good enough, then there will be people that will latch onto it. So, by all means, I never even reached out to CBC. There was someone named Chris Delatorre from the Southwestern Ontario region that he was the guy to reach out to me first. And he said, "Hey man, I heard your song on Spotify and I absolutely love it. Hoping that I can get an interview with you." And then again, from there, just through the power of the quality of the actual song itself, that was a true testament to how well it did. So, still very, very proud of it after a year.
Well, and proud you should be, my friend, because it is an incredible song. Now, everybody knows, I've put your contact on the ticker along the bottom here. So all your songs, and they can get a hold of you at that website. All that stuff's on there.
That's right. Yeah. So, and then, from that website, you can find all my socials. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, everywhere that you would expect, any big time musician to be.
That's amazing. And I want to talk a little bit, Connor. So everybody knows I run a business called Awesomepreneurs. It's a business growth event series. And with a name like Awesomepreneurs, when I'm thinking of a theme song, I'm like, holy smokes, there's absolutely nothing you can rhyme with Awesomepreneurs. So I asked you to use our tagline, Meet, Greet, Grow. Yeah. And you just used it so incredibly. How did that song process come about? And how did you go about coming up with the lyrics and everything for that song?
So again, this song was produced and co-written with my friend Jonathan Corolla, who I mentioned before. And to be honest, it was pretty easy. We spent a little bit of time doing, like call it market research if you'd like to, but we took a look online and we saw, okay, so what does it mean to be a part of the Awesomepreneurs group? And then, from there we came across, well, I think some keywords would be like community and like togetherness and, entrepreneurship. So we took all of these various ideas, and then also family. That was a big one as well. So we took all these ideas and then we kind of amalgamated them into the lyrics that you see where, even as a first timer, if you're a first timer at this event, then you could come to Awesomepreneurs and then, you can talk about all of your worries, all of your highs, all of your lows with, everybody and anybody that's actually at this event. So I really wanted to make sure that that was accurate inside of the lyrics and that the music was fairly upbeat as well, so that it just gave that really, kind of positive, upbeat vibe. So it seemed to translate fairly well. And the actual song we got done in about a week to a week and a half. It was very quick because, again, we knew what the message was and we knew what the song should be about, and we knew what your vision was initially, Kyle. So thank you for being the guy to come to us and to trust us with this whole process. And we are very, very proud of that, and we hope that you are too. So
Connor, I honestly can't say enough about it, and how impressed I was with how well it fit with our message and what we do and who we are. Now we have a special thing happening here today. I understand you're going to play it live for us. Is that true?
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
Let's get right into that. So here you have it, folks. Connor Morand.
Awesome.
I love it.
Awesome. I'm gonna move this down a little bit. Hopefully you can see that guitar a little bit better.
Absolutely.
There we go. Right on. Okay, awesome. So for the very, very first time live, this is the Awesomepreneurs theme song, which actually I don't think technically has a name. When I sent over the final file to you, it was just called AP Theme. So I would say consider this song called Meet, Greet, Grow, and we'll go from there.
Beautiful.
Bring all your moments of glory and all your trouble and pain. Let's talk about it the whole night and do it all again. If you're on a high or if you're somewhere low, there is always a place where you can be at home. No matter who you are or wherever you've been, you gotta shine so bright that you'll rival the stars. You gotta shine so bright that they'll know who you are. You gotta follow your dreams just like you follow your heart. Gotta shine, 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 so you light up the dark. Gotta meet, greet, grow. Gotta meet, greet, grow. You gotta meet, greet, grow. You gotta meet, greet, grow. You gotta shine so bright that you rival the stars. You gotta shine so bright that they'll know who you are. You gotta follow your dreams just like you follow your heart. You gotta shine, 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 so you light up the dark.
Wow, buddy. You know what? I wish we had a crowd that was able to see that, man. I can't wait for this to go worldwide and everybody to see this. It was so incredible.
Oh man, well that's great. Again, it's been a lot of fun just, making that song and, trying to work on it with you and just making sure that everything aligns. So, I'm really, really glad with how well it came together. And again, how quickly it came together. That's a true testament to, a shared and unified vision. So again, very happy with it.
I'm so jealous of you, of your talent. I'm not a very musical guy. Hockey was my thing, and I watch all these singers and all the girls chasing them everywhere. So you have a big announcement for everybody. You guys, you just got engaged, did you not?
Yes, that is correct. We just got engaged at the end of January, and it was a really, really special moment for us to do that. So we've been trying to plan a wedding during this whole, Corona virus madness, and we don't quite know how it's all going to turn out. It could be 150 guests, it could be only 15. We don't know until the government says so. So we're just trying to keep all of our options open and, make sure that no matter how many people we actually end up having, that our day is about us and that we want to do what we want to do. So
good for you, man. I couldn't be more happy and proud of you. I'm so happy. That's amazing. Now, your mom and dad must be super happy too, and they're probably bugging you for grandkids already, aren't they?
Buddy, they've been bugging me for grandkids since I was single. So
pressure's on, brother.
Yeah. That's right. That's right.
So what's next for you, Connor? Like with all this mess that we're in right now, what do you see the future for you, and what do you have on the works right now?
That's a great question. So like I was saying earlier, a lot of my time right now during this whole COVID-19, situation has been focused on just making music and on producing music and really just trying to make as much music as I can. That's the end goal for me. I don't know, whether in a year's time I'll have an album out or whether it'll just be an EP or really just another song. But I do have a couple things that I'm very proud of that I will be, hopefully releasing in probably the next few months. I've been very, very careful on how I want to go about, putting out songs into the world during COVID, and if it's a good idea now or if it's a good idea later on down the road. There's no one right or wrong answer. There are people that are, putting out songs and albums right now during this whole time, and they seem to be doing pretty well. But Yeah, I would say that that's my main focus, is just to make as much music as I can and just to be happy with what I'm putting out. So that's the end goal.
Now, forgive me for my ignorance here. I'm not involved in the music world much. A lot of these singers and stuff deal with professional producers and stuff, but is it true that you're producing your own stuff? Is that how it's working?
Yeah, I mean, it's not that I'm necessarily exclusively producing my own stuff. It's just I'm at a point in my life where I feel like I want to really harness that skill. But I've certainly worked with, a lot of amazing producers. Again, John Corolla, aka Unbloom, being one of them that I've been, actively working with for probably the past year. But I would say, I mean, the world of music production and creation is so accessible now. You can get a kid with a laptop and they can make a hit song in 15 to 20 minutes. If you were to look at, especially back in the 50s and the 60s, you were not able to do that at all. It's a completely different way of making music, and especially, again, the vast musical landscape that you were talking about before. I think a big reason why there are so many musicians and artists and songs now is because of how easy it is to do. And I say easy like in air quotes, because it does take a lot to, it still takes a lot of effort to make a
good song.
Yes. Thank you. But this, again, from my bedroom, I don't even have to go to a grand studio and spend thousands and thousands of dollars. At the end of the day, if a song sounds good, it sounds good. It doesn't matter where you do it. It doesn't matter who you're with. It doesn't matter what kind of instruments you use. If it hits your ears in the right way, then it's a success.
That's wild, man. It's so cool to see and watch your journey happen. So once this COVID lifts and stuff, what kind of things do you get into? Can people hire you to make appearances? Do you do weddings? Do you do parties? What kind of things are you getting into once the COVID stuff lifts?
Yeah, I mean, I do all of those things. And again, you can go to my website, which is right there at the bottom. It's just my name.com, connormorand.com. And then you can find my email there, my phone number. So, I do all of those things that you mentioned. I do weddings, I do parties, I do songs for people. And, it's certainly a lot of fun to be able to go about that and to just be creative in multiple different ways. And I mean, at the end of the day, I think the thing that I love most about music is just being around people and making people feel good. So I certainly miss playing live for people, as I know a lot of other musicians do.
Yeah, that's the hardest thing, right? And I think a lot of the people really miss seeing that skill live.
Absolutely.
Myself and a lot of friends just love going to places, to a bar, wherever, to see you guys perform live, because it is such a skill. So I'm just hoping that things go back to normal as soon as possible. And Connor, I can't thank you enough for spending some time with us today. And I'm looking forward to watching your journey, buddy.
Oh, no worries, man. Again, super, super great to be on here. You guys are doing some amazing work with Awesomepreneurs, and I know that you're working about as hard as a dog right now, trying to figure out what it all looks like. So, I'm looking forward to still giving you my everlasting support, whatever that looks like. So,
and it goes both ways, my friend. If there's anything we can do for you, please let me know, and we'll chat soon, buddy.
Absolutely. Same here.
Thanks, Connor.
No worries. Take care.